Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown. I am Gloria Atta and here's our news in brief. FCC, Ola Olukoyede, says some government aspirants spent between 20 billion naira and 30 billion naira to secure electoral victory during the last primary elections, warning that the trend may pose a serious threat to democratic governance and false corruption in public office. Speaking at the inaugural high-level guest speaker series organized by the University of Ilorin on Wednesday, the EFCC boss said that huge financial resources deployed during the elections often compel elected officials to divert public funds after assuming office in a bid to recover their investments. He said the commission has arrested and secured convictions in cases involving vote buying and other electoral offences, stressing that there would be no favoritism in enforcing electoral laws. The EFCC boss also disclosed plans to deploy drones and other technology to monitor elections and curb vote buying ahead of the 2027 general elections, while urging political parties and stakeholders to promote issue-based campaigns and work together to ensure peaceful, free and credible polls. Meanwhile, frustration over the state of affairs in the country is mounting. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana, alongside civil society groups, labor activists and youth organizations, have declared June 12 Nigeria's Democracy Day, a day of nationwide protest. The coalition says the action is in response to worsening insecurity, using hunger and economic hardship under President Bola Tinubu's administration. It accused the government of failing to protect lives and implementing policies that have deepened poverty. The group expressed solidarity with victims of insecurity and demanded the release of Nigerians held captive by criminal groups across several states. It also criticized policies such as fuel subsidy removal, currency devaluation and rising electricity tariffs, saying they have worsened living conditions. The coalition has called on workers, students, traders and other Nigerians to join the protest, insisting that the country can no longer endure the killings, kidnappings, hunger and suffering. The insecurity crisis is also taking a toll on education as schools in parts of Kogi, Edo and Niger states shut down on Wednesday following fresh security threats linked to bandit attacks. In Kogi State, suspected bandits stormed a school in Iluke, killing 3 people, including a vice principal and a 6-year-old child. Security operatives repelled the attack and killed one of the assailants. In Edo State, 3 schools were temporarily closed after DSS intelligence warned of planned abductions targeting students in Edo North, while candidates, however, were allowed to continue their examinations under tight security. Panic also spread in Niger State following rumors of attacks on schools, prompting many parents to withdraw their children, although police dismissed the reports as false. Rights groups have condemned the attacks and called for stronger protection of schools and communities. In a separate development, a Christian clergy, Apostle John Okoriko, has expressed concern over the rising cases of suicide, urging Nigerians not to resort to taking their own lives despite the country's economic hardship. Speaking during a monthly interactive service in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, the cleric encouraged people to remain hopeful and patient, stressing that difficult times do not last and that better days lie ahead. He said many people give in to suicidal thoughts because of life's challenges, noting that faith in God can provide the strength to overcome adversity without self-harm. His concern is coming on the heels of recent reports that show that approximately 15,000 to 16,000 Nigerians die by suicide every year. Now turning to global matters, scientists have warned that global warming is accelerating, with key climate indicators reaching record levels and the world edging closer to the 1.5 degrees Celsius warning threshold. In a new report, more than 70 scientists said human activity drove global temperatures to about 1.39 degrees above pre-industrial levels in 2025 and warned that the 1.5 degree limit could be breached by around 2030. The study also found that sea levels are rising faster and marine heat waves have more than tripled since 1991. The researchers expressed concern that funding cuts and geopolitical decisions are threatening vital climate monitoring systems, including satellite programs and ocean observation tools needed to track the pace of global warming. They stressed that continued investment in climate observation is critical to understanding and responding to the growing climate crisis. Still on the foreign scene, authorities in Indonesia have arrested 13 women, including the owner and caregivers of a daycare center in Yogyakarta, over allegations of child abuse and neglect. Police say they found many of more than 100 children enrolled at the facility with their hands and feet tied, while some were allegedly slapped and pinched to make them more manageable. The case, described as one of the country's worst examples of child abuse in a daycare setting, has sparked nationwide outrage and renewed calls for stricter regulation of child care centers. The government has pledged tighter oversight, improved standards, and mandatory registration for daycare facilities, while investigations continue ahead of possible formal charges. Now moving on to business news with Shukra Oniye. Stay with us.
Welcome to your business update. We begin with the global energy landscape, where major shifts are underway as OPEC production hits a major milestone, while Nigeria ramps up strategy to hit its ambitious output targets. Our countdown begins in the global energy markets. Output from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has plummeted to its lowest level in over 2 decades. Data reveals that production from the group's 11 state members dropped significantly by 1.06 million barrels per day in the month of May. This brings total output down to 16.13 million barrels per day. Market watchers attribute this sharp decline to ongoing strategic supply adjustment and escalating geopolitical tension. Analysts are already warning that this tightening supply could trigger a fresh rally in the international crude prices, potentially complicating global efforts to tame inflation. Back home, the federal government is doubling down on strategies to significantly scale up Nigeria's crude oil production. This is part of an aggressive drive to boost independent revenue streams and stabilize foreign exchange earnings. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Heineken, has mandated industry stakeholders to deliver a clear, time-bound roadmap to hit the national target of 2.5 million barrels per day. According to the ministry, this initiative is created to eliminating production inefficiency, restore the investor confidence, and commencing Nigeria's competitive edge in the global energy markets. And on the continent, Ethiopia's government say public spending will rise in 2026/2027 fiscal year to 14.7 billion, driven largely by costs linked to Iran war, including higher fuel subsidies and other crisis-related expenditures. Finance Minister Ahmed Shide said the increase reflects broader pressure on public finance, with spending rising from 1.92 trillion birr in the current fiscal year. Despite the high expenditure, the country expects the budget deficit to narrow down to 1.4% of the GDP from the 2.2% previously projected. Ethiopia also forecasts economic growth of 10.1% next year, while export earnings are expected to reach $10.5 billion. The government continues debt restructuring with Eurobond creditors amid ongoing concerns about its financial stability. Finally, looking at Europe, the European Central Bank appears poised to adjust its monetary policy stance, with expectation high for its first interest rate hike since 2023. The anticipated tightening follows a resurgence in inflation fueled largely by volatile energy costs and heightened geopolitical tension involving Iran. Eurozone policymakers face the delicate task of curbing consumer prices without choking off fragile economic growth. Economists warn that ECB's decision will reverberate globally, impacting cross-border investment flows and currency valuation. And that wraps up today's business update. Thanks for watching. I am Oniye Shukra. Up next is business review, newspaper review with Gloria Atana Bokar Turkey.
Thank you, Shukra, and welcome back from that break. We'll be moving straight to the newspaper review with Abubakar Toraki. How are you today?
I'm fine.
You're looking so calm and collected.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's just go straight to the business of the day. Off camera, I would ask why you're looking this calm. So we are going to begin with our first newspaper, and we'll be moving straight to the Punch newspaper. And on the front page, it says, "School closure spread after fresh bandit attack." Let me just bring you back to the conversation we had yesterday. What do you think about this? You know, the continued or continuous attack on schools?
The truth of the matter, this attack is becoming insurmountable.
Yeah.
And for the past months, we have never found it so difficult in addressing the issue of insecurity in this country like this time around. Ever since when Boko Haram was actually in its peak, especially in the 2009-2010, and with the way they are attacking things. But they have actually found a very logical attack in which it will be very difficult for a day or week to pass without attacking any of the educational structure.
Yes.
Maybe a school, a hostel, or something that is related to education. And based on statistics and data from UNESCO and from many of the statisticians, the northern part of the country, especially not northern eastern part of the country, when it comes to this country, now they are trying to cripple the entire educational system. Attack has been going out, and we have seen some blanket statement from the government because they are yet to execute them. If truly that what they are seeing is not a political statement, by now we could have seen some positive outcome. Why I mean by positive outcome, like massive positive outcome. You say that you are deploying security guard, forest guard, creation of state police, community policing, vigilantism, and the rest. But the attack have been increasing, have been occurring every day.
So what does this actually say about the rights to? Do you think the government is actually capable of protecting the right to education for our young ones?
No. Because I recently saw yesterday some family were actually crying the way they are even lamenting that they cannot even send their own children to school because they are afraid. People that are battling and living, that they are living from hand to mouth, basically they are just looking for what to eat. Because now if you send your children to school, you don't even have assurance that the government is going to protect your children. And you don't even have assurance that this school is going to be on their own next target, because we saw what happened for the past month, the way they have been attacking schools. And now school, they are actually in a very vulnerable stage. They attack a university, they attack a polytechnic, monotechnic, primary school, secondary school. Who is safe in this country now? Is this only the political class that they are safe? And why is it that people are trying to use politics at the detriment of innocent people? Nigerians are tired of crime. The lamentation is all over social media. People nowadays are mourning every day. You may step out of your house, but you don't have the assurance that you are coming back to your house. Because there are high possibility and tendency somebody may likely come and kidnap you.
So now what are some of the long-term impacts you think this would be having? Because, you know, right now in the country, it has even become a joke. On social media, everyone is, you'd see different memes of people talking about how going out, they might, you know, become victims of banditry or whatever. You see people saying, I have to keep certain amount of money aside for ransom and all of that. So this continuous repeated attacks on our institutions, what long-term impact is it going to be having on education in this country?
It has a long-term impact, negative impact on the educational aspect, especially with the way things are going. People are now feel like they may likely have distrust and they will just be disconnected from the government. There will be a moment, I'm not a messiah of pessimism, I'm a messiah of optimism. There will be a moment when Nigerians will start to accumulate arms and ammunition illegally. Because if those saddled with responsibility to protect them cannot protect them, then I think I recently saw one emir calling on his people that they should find a way of acquiring arms and ammunition to protect themselves.
Yes, I've actually been seeing lots of
weapons. that are actually at the detriment of innocent people, Nigeria may likely run into a state of anarchy. And once, if this country is in a state of anarchy, Nigeria will be categorized as a failed state. And once Nigeria is being categorized as a failed state, even the governors, the politicians that think they are now enjoying some flamboyant and maximum security, they may not be able to enjoy it. And at the tail end, it is the downfall of Africa, because the downfall of Nigeria is the downfall of Africa. I'm not praying for that.
Yes.
And on the educational aspect, there will be a time when, if we are seeing the problem of insecurity now, as is actually in the stage 1, if the remaining educational system collapse, there will be a worse. It's going to be the survival of the fittest and the elimination of the weakest. Because these are facts. These are factual things. We have to be thinking beyond 2027, beyond 2031. We have to be thinking far ahead of like 30-year development strategy, 50-year policies that will at least alleviate the suffering of Nigeria.
Yes,
Nigeria have been
so
paying the price.
let me just bring one more question to you before we move to the next. Now, a number of people have started to suggest alternative measures or alternative options, alternatives rather, for parents to start looking at in terms of educating their children. People are already talking about homeschooling and other informal learning centers where children would not have to be sandwiched in one particular place at the same time. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think this would also spell out in for the country's educational system in the coming years?
How possible is that? How possible?
But it's possible.
Even our fingers
a number
are
of people are already taking their children
The best
out
way
from
to
school.
get the best education in this country is you should go to the public schools. Those schools that are being managed by the government, especially the tertiary institution. No matter how you are trying to at least cage your own children to give them the education, at least sending them to school that are being controlled, managed by the government, they will have the best education there. Because all those people that we are calling them, they have failed us now. They all went to public school in the early 80s, 90s, 70s, and 60s. And is that the Nigeria that Azikwe, Awolowo, Sardauna, and Tafawa Balewa led the foundation? Is that the Nigeria they have been calling for? So this is actually a betrayal from them, and we will continue to call them. They have betrayed many Nigerians, and is not yet let. If they can at least put their own thinking caps, I believe by now we saw what happened with the sister of former Minister of Power when she was actually kidnapped. Within 3 to 5 days, she was rescued. While up to now, as I'm speaking to you, a lot of people are there in bush there. They are not there for excursion. They are there based on some agreement from those people that you are calling them bandit. Is anybody above the law? Nobody is above the law in this country.
Nobody is above the law, and we just really hope, really hope that, you know, succor would come to the average citizens. So let's just quickly turn to our next newspaper, and we'll be looking at the Daily Monitor, and the front page says, Senate issues arrest warrant on Mele Kyari. That's the former NNPC boss. So let me just hear your thoughts on that.
Well, corruption has been normalized in our dear country. What a painful and uncalled for culture. Because it will be very difficult for any public office holder to serve, and after leaving office, there must be a corruption allegation.
Yes, we've seen this over and over again. Why is that, in fact?
Well, it is the level of how our own society are being built. The perception is if you hold a public office and if you are unable to at least amass some certain number of wealth, after serving, people will come and be mocking you. But I stand to be corrected. Yesterday, what they did, I was very ashamed of what they did, because based on the statement, they say that they summoned the former GMD of NNPC, dead or alive, while they are leaving other people like Kachalla, other people like Bello Turji outside there. Why don't you at least channel that effort in the fight against insecurity, even though sometimes corruption has some undertone to insecurity? If to say that this thing that they are being actually alleging that there's a misappropriation or almost 210 trillion naira was not remitted to the coffers of the government when Mele Kyari was the GMD of NNPC. Well, they are trying to at least call him, and they wanted to hear first-hand information from them. And subsequently, yesterday, if you saw the kind of shenanigans that happened yesterday at the at the House of Assembly yesterday, you would just begin to wonder, why are there investigation on that? Are they trying to at least recoup back that money for them to use against 2027
you know, some observers and pundits are actually saying that this could be more of a political move. Meanwhile, some people are arguing on the other hand that this might be a strengthened legislative process. What are your thoughts?
You know, sometimes that what we call a hunter became hunted.
Yes.
So maybe they have a political undertone, but I always tell our dear Nigerians that whatsoever we see from the government side,
Yes,
we should try and at least embrace it with a positive mindset. Who knows, maybe they are trying to clean the system, because the fund is actually belongs to the entire Nigerian.
Yes.
I believe they say that the mail carrier is actually out of the country. He is currently hospitalized in Germany. So I believe as one of the arm of government, strong arm of government, maybe he will surely come and at least listen to them, and we are going to hear from him, because it's an allegation. Maybe
yes,
he have something different to say to
yes,
Nigerians.
yes.
But no matter what, we are praying that whatsoever that is going on in this country, we pray that they should always do things that will at least favor Nigerians, because Nigerians are paying the price.
Yeah, so just before we go, I have one final question. You had mentioned earlier that this is a recurring decimal. We've seen it whenever a serving official leaves, it is from one corruption allegation to another. So how do we put an end to this? What steps or what strategies should be put in place to ensure that before a person, a public office holder leaves office, these due diligence is, you know, they've already been met and they've already been done, so that they do not keep dragging and just making a ridicule of themselves, if we want to put it that
we just need to have the political mindset and the political wind against the fight against corruption.
Yeah.
And not just a political witch hunting.
Yeah.
We saw how the incumbent administration have been fighting and the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, which too many people are calling him as just a political prisoner.
Yes.
If they can at least channel the effort in the fight against corruption in this country, I believe Nigeria will be corrupt-free society.
Yes.
We just need the political will and zeal and the passion to fight corruption. And individually, from our own perception, we need to fight the corruption individually. And mind you, people used to forget something. We are just thinking of political corruption. What of administrative corruption? What of bureaucratic corruption? These are the kind of things that we need to find it in order to strengthen the system. And also our own judiciary should double their effort in the fight against corruption.
Thank you
any
so much,
any corrupt case, it should not linger in the court for more than at least 6 months. That corruption case should at least move to its logical conclusion within 6 months. The prosecution, the presentation of the witness, everything should be done within 6 months.
Thank you so much, Abubakar. Abubakar has actually, you know, fully brought this matter to rest, because indeed the fight against corruption, the fight against any societal ill, requires a whole of society approach. Thank you so much for always making time to come here. And that's it on our newspaper review today. Up next is S24 Report, coming to you right after the break. Stay with us.
As Nigerian marks Democracy Day, a day set aside to celebrate the nation's democratic journey and the sacrifices that paved the way for civilian rule, conversations are also turning to the future of the country's electoral process. Against this backdrop, key stakeholders, civil society groups, election experts, lawmakers, and policy advocates gathered in Abuja for a high-level review of the Electoral Act 2026 and its implication for the 2027 general election.
If you listen and see these provisions, clearly you see that if we go to election with this, it is as good as waste of time and energy, because already fraudulent provisions have been introduced and will be made to, work with that. So this is to tell you that it's not election that these people want to have. They want to just do selection and waste of public taxpayers' money, and kill whoever they want to kill, steal whatever they want to steal, and create unnecessary tension and conflict in our country.
The meeting, convened by the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, in partnership with the Pan-African Strategic and Policy Research Group, focused on contagious provision for the new electoral law, which participants say could impact transparency, accountability, and public confidence in the future elections.
And what they have done is to exclude observers' reports, or exclude party agent reports. Security agent reports have been excluded now under Section 65 of the Act. But under the old Act, it was purely the Commission. So
stakeholders called for urgent amendment to section they believe could undermine electoral integrity, stressing that credible elections remain critical to sustaining Nigeria's democracy.
A situation where there's virtually no opposition, the legislature seems to have been emasculated. The judiciary appears to also have been emasculated. The media also appears to have been emasculated. Civil society is under attack. We have had here cases where people are arrested, individuals, for voicing their own opinions.
The consensus: reforms must serve the people and ensure that the will of voters remains the ultimate determinant of electoral outcomes in 2027. Khadija Muhammad reporting for S24 Television.
This is Political Arena on S24 Television. Welcome back from that break, and I am your host, Abubakar Traki. As people of Ningi and Warjifere constituency in Bauchi State prepare an important political decision, many are looking for a leader who understands their challenge and can effectively represent their interest. Today on S24 Political Arena, our guest is Khalid Barrow Ningi, an aspirant who wants to represent the good people of Ningi and Warjifere constituency of Bauchi State. He's here on Political Arena in S24. Honorable Khalid, welcome to Political Arena on S24 Television.
It's my pleasure, Madam Traki.
Why PDP?
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, our listeners and viewers all over the world. It's my pleasure to be in your studio. Madam Traki, you see, politics has to be a kind of an aspiration that requires a lot of
calculation.
Decision. Yes, you know. It's just like somebody who is building a house. You will have to sit down, look at the parameters of the land, you know, make designs and architectural work and civil engineering work. So same as politics. You see, PDP is the only legacy party left in this country today.
Despite all the internal conflict that we have been seeing.
Well, you never can live in this world without facing challenges, and some of the challenges have become a limelight for PDP because it has given them an opportunity to put itself together and in order, and it has given, especially we the supporters of the party, an experience to know what to do in terms of crisis management and so on and so forth. So I think PDP is the bedrock of Nigerian democratic system. It has ruled Nigeria for 16 years, and we have one of the best mindset in this country, and even the ruling APC today is also celebrating some of the mentees of the PDP, and our national leader now, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, is still a carrying card member of the PDP, and in the entire administration of President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think he is the most celebrated minister in terms of, delivery
but some people are still attributing
and work.
Minister Wiki as an amphibious politician, one leg in PDP and one leg in APC. Does that drive his own political ideology? I think if you are really driving by ideology, you need to either be in PDP or APC.
Well, maybe Madam Traki, people have easily forgotten history. Honorable Minister of the FCT, our national leader, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, is not the first individual that is a carrying card member of a different political party and then serving in the government at the center. Let me give you a brief history of what happened in 2007 when late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua was elected as president. He formed what we call the Government of National Unity, and then he appointed so many members of different political parties. The very one I can vividly remember was the late Senator Saidu Umar Kumo, of which you eventually come from the same state. He was appointed, he was the National Secretary of ANPP back then, but President Umar Musa Yar'Adua appointed him as the Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly matters because of that formation of the Government of National Unity. So coming up to 2010, when the former President Goodluck Jonathan appointed a serving senator of ANPP in the Senate, who is my principal, my mentor, Governor Bala Mohammed, who is the present governor of Bauchi State, then was a carrying card member of ANPP, and he was appointed as a minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and he served as minister under the government of the PDP. So you see, our national leader, Nyesom Wike, is not the first person to be appointed from a different political party to serve under a government at the center.
Well, maybe these are all interests. And let us not dwell into the topic of discussion.
Well, I don't see them as interest. I see them as a call to service.
Okay, call to service.
Yes.
And we're hoping to see more of political unity like
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay, let's go back to where you came from, the good people of Bauchi State. What qualities make you the best candidate that you are even selling yourself to them?
Madam Traki, I am the youngest of them all. I have not been appointed, I have not been elected before. The other contestants, let me tell you, we have the Speaker of the Bauchi State House of Assembly, who was elected 2 terms as a member of the State Assembly, and 2 terms served as the Speaker, and 1 term served as the chairman of the Conference of Speakers Forum. Then we have the candidate of the APC. Okay, the Speaker is the candidate of, what is the name of their political party, self?
I'm talking of ADC.
No. APM.
Okay, APM.
I guess, yes, APM.
The political party where your governor decamped to.
Yes, APM. Then the candidate of the APC was a former member of the State Assembly. He was elected member of the State Assembly and then subsequently elected member of the National Assembly representing Ninjuwarji. Then the 3rd member is the candidate of the ADC. He was elected the executive chairman of my local government. Then the other member was the candidate of the PRP, who is the currently serving member representing Ninjuwarji Federal Constituency. So the 5th member is the youngest of them all, the most pragmatic, the most ambitious, the most visionary, and the most agile working young man in the constituency. That is Khalid Baroningi. I think I am the best candidate of them all.
Well, don't you think that you made mention of their own portfolio, and they were able to at least deliver something, and you are coming into the political system, I mean in terms of election, because this is going to be your first time that people are going to elect you. Don't you think that you still have a long way to go in terms of mentorship, in terms of loyalty, and the rest?
Mr. Turaki, I'm 40 years old. There are members that I am older than them presently in the National Assembly, and they are serving vividly, well, and effectively to their people.
So you mean this is the right time for young people to venture into active politics?
I don't even see myself as I am not ready for that. I see myself as even coming at a late hour. I should have been in the National Assembly, like in the 9th Assembly, not even the 10th Assembly. The education is about loyalty to the people. So once you are given that mantle of responsibility, you see yourself as a servant leader, you see yourself as a community leader, and you see yourself as a vehicle that will maybe transform some of the achievement and realities into an effective way of managing the people.
Okay, this is the issue of time. What are the pressing issues that are actually affecting your people, and how do you intend to cushion that effect, especially when they give you the opportunity to represent them at the Halo Chamber?
2 major issues.
What are they?
water and electricity. Ningi local government is Ningi and Warji as well, because Warji was carved out of Ningi in the year 1996. Yes, if I could not forget. So the major problem that is facing Ningi Warji is electricity and water. And Ningi was established in 1976. I mean, created in 1976. So about 50 years old today, and you can hardly go to Ningi and see, you know, electricity. And a local government like Ningi, the second most densely populated local government according to the 2006 census, can stay for like 6-7 months without electricity is so sad. And I think we need to do something about it. And then water. You can't open a tap in Ningi and find a portable drinking water. I want to take it upon myself that if water and electricity, these two things, are going to be the only things I will achieve in 4 years as a member elected representing Ningi Federal Constituency, I so wish myself to see that I have achieved these two things and then leave office by 20. If that will be the only things I will do,
you have achieved a lot
in 4 years, and people will say, okay, Khalid, we are okay with you now, I am ready to.
You are willing to relinquish.
Yes, I'm ready.
So what plans do you have for education and healthcare system?
Well, like I said before, governance and representation, particularly in the National Assembly, is about making laws. Laws that will provide for an opportunity for people to have good leadership, good representation, and so on and so forth. Laws that will, you know, enable the community and the society to have an effective and efficient leadership. I will make laws. I will prefer laws that will have effect in the area of education and healthcare system, that will have effect directly to not only
direct impact.
Yes, that to not only the people of Ningi Federal Constituency, but Bauchi State and Northern Nigeria as a whole, and even if it's possible for the whole country. And again, there are some aspects of partnerships that comes in representation that is not your primary responsibility, but as somebody who is very visionary and you have an ambition not just for leadership but ambition to deliver, you can partner with so many organizations, especially institutions, local institutions that we have, public institutions that we have in Nigeria, and partner with them and try to see a way that those institutions can be able to, you know, give you some discounted rate of registration fees of students, and then try and give scholarships to young people, privileged young people who are less privileged.
Before we call it a day, sorry to cut you short. Within 1 minute, how do you intend to engage youth and women, especially in your government? How do you intend to
Already
engage
I'm
with them?
engaging with them. I am engaging
Currently?
with them. Yes, I am engaging with them.
So how do you intend to expand?
Yes, I'm engaging with them on a critical issues, on issues that have, impact to our own community and society. I don't see anybody as a second-class citizen. I see everybody as equal, and I don't see the women as not, equal to me, but, equality before the law, equality and equity before the law is so important that you give everybody an opportunity and chance to come up and contribute. So I am already engaging with them, and my doors and my phones are always 24/7 open for any sort of support and engagement that will be able to have, positive impact to my own constituents.
Okay, so what message do you have for people of Ningi and Warji Federal Constituency?
They should not get tired. They should get their PVC ready. This election is between light and darkness. This election is between the past glories and the lost glories and the future of our own generation and generation yet unborn. They have an opportunity to make a decisive decision, a decision that will have impact in the next 50 years or 100 years to come. Because by voting Khalid, you're voting for electricity. By voting Khalid, you're voting for for available water supply. By voting Khalid, you're voting for a pragmatic leadership and representation. By voting Khalid, you're voting for effective and efficient representation in the National Assembly.
Honorable, I believe this your blueprint will see the light of the day.
Inshallah, it will. I hope so.
So I wish you all the best in your political journey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Traki.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Mashallah.
And I believe next year we are still going to invite you to come and speak to us.
Inshallah, I'll come here and I will showcase my scorecard.
Your scorecard?
Yes, inshallah.
You sound very confident.
Absolutely, very, very confident.
But
because if you look at the category of voters, 70 to 80% of voters are the younger generation.
And you are actually engaging them, as you said.
I am not only engaging them, they are the same people who pursue me to run for this election.
Thank you so much, Honorable Khalid. And that is all what we have on S24 Political Arena. Stay tuned for our S24 Sahel Watch. Thank you and bye for now.
So let's talk about Nigeria. We've got issues with Boko Haram in the northeast, Maiduguri. We've got banditry and criminality at the border. We've got the Fulani herdsmen. We've got IPOP still continuing the Biafran secessionist movement. I mean, coming from your war economy perspective, does the Nigerian military or the Nigerian army really stand a chance? Because what it's been done is tasked by the federal government and the president to go off and have that almost like one military fist, if you like. The army does what the army does. Whereas are we at the point where you can only solve some of those crises through using other methods, but is the federal government willing to do that?
Sadly, I dare say that unfortunately, it is getting worse. Getting worse in the sense that you may be surprised that even prior to the beginning of insurgency in the north in 2009, I predicted it and said, if this thing allowed to work, not trashed in the bud, it will metamorphose into so many categories of violent crimes. Because what? I read a literature, something highly confidential. They call it classified documents in France when I was there as a student in the 1980s. So that was the plan for Africa, and they are waiting to deal with Nigeria that has been quelling problems in West Africa. They wanted to create a security problem for Nigeria, so that in the name of ECOMOG and anything, Nigeria will be just on the defensive. That was how it was created. This thing has always been there, but they waited. They waited for the correct president and correct governors at the borders. Borno State, for instance, we had Governor Sharif, and then as a president, we had President Obasanjo, who as soon as we came, the way Tinubu dealt with it, removed, fuel subsidy removed, one day without even waiting for the end of June. They removed, and automatically things began to collapse. Obasanjo, as soon as he came, removed the subsidy and even sold off the main companies. For instance, sold off Nigerian Airways, Railway. I even sold the legislative quotas, monetized so many things. And those basic infrastructure were not supposed to be privatized or sold off. But President Obasanjo then, despite the harakiri and the gymnastics he plays to convince people, he planted the seed of all the illegalities and all the problems of Nigeria, starting from Boko Haram insurgency, because his government selectively weeded out the professionals who are patriotic. Normally, militaries are just loyal to the country, not to the individuals in power. So, weeded out, weakened the security system, and then opened the floodgate through Borno. Then with our own military, completely the weapons were moved from northern Borno to down south in Lagos barracks and so on. Some of them even exploded and killed scores. That was the actual thing. I wanted people to talk when he is alive rather than wait for him to go away before starting to accuse him. The weakening was done by the government of Obasanjo. And then again took away the national telecommunication. We have the wireless and so telephone system that we had called NITEL. Destroyed NITEL and allowed foreign telecom companies to come and impose their own tariffs. MTN, Airtel, and so on came and decided to not decide how much the people pay. And Nigeria is a big market of over 200 million people. So that was the president himself who did it for against the country itself.
So it was almost like a homemade, homegrown
Exactly.
example. Yeah.
Exactly.
So if we're to look at a sort of contemporary issue today with the Islamic State affiliate that's knocking on the doors of Bamako, I've said knocking on the doors of Bamako in Mali so many times in interviews with people over the last 6 months, and then literally in the last week or so, they've actually started to attack places in the capital city and kill the defense minister. Do you think that the federal government here in Nigeria or the Nigerian military has an acceptable line that goes across Nigeria that they would hold Islamic State at that point if it was to take northern Nigeria, if they were to move into northern Nigeria? Would it be Kaduna? Would it be capital in Abuja?
Impossible.
Is that why they're looking to move the new capital down to Lagos again?
If Lagos were not moved to Abuja side, the sea could have been the danger for every government in place, because insurgents and so on could come through the sea. And Lagos was just densely populated, and it had to move. All the good things, including the states that were created by the military, not the civilians who are good at making noise, rooftop noise, and so on. We do this thing, they play semantic gymnastics tomorrow, bills, and so on. Dividing Libya into two under Khalifa General Haftar, and another one recognized by the West. Anywhere the West, led by America, has us in base, they are likely to be worsening security situation, because in the first place, it was the West that created insurgency. And therefore, there is no way to fight and destroy the same thing that they had created. And therefore, calling it Islamic is a misnomer. It is not Islamic. It was something wrong done by Muslim individuals. Just the way a Christian will do something wrong and then we say Christianity did it. It is wrong. It's a misnomer. It is unjust to call them Islamic. They are not Islamic. Why? Islam does not condone killing of innocent. Even the guilty ones were killed by the law in the court, not individuals. And therefore, this one alone, killing innocent people and destroying the resources and so on, were against every religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And therefore, it was a concoction by the Antichrist themselves, who do not believe in Prophet Jesus himself. And therefore, it was a concoction. Even the Boko Haram name was created by them, because Boko in Hausa means deceit. Deceit originally, where in history prior to Islam, in those some of the northern states, where a newly married lady, instead of bringing the original lady, they will bring a very old woman wrapped in beautiful wrappers with a beautiful scent. So when the husband comes to see his newlywed wife, according to the culture, before he gets the original wife. Something concoction, even Biafra with it.
Yeah.
It is not the making of all the Igbos. A few people, the elites, were just conscripted to say we are getting out, because they are all over the nation. So if they say we are gone as a Biafra, then they will be asked to relocate, because in the north, in the southwest, and so on, they had their own industries, they had landed assets, and so on. When they were taken, they would say, take back your things or get out. They were the losers. Again, Biafra itself, the name itself is a combination of Bia in Igbo. You know, I stayed there for some time. I taught at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, one of the premier universities in the 80s. I taught in the 80s. Bia means come. Fra is the short form for France. It was France that was backing and supporting everything that is against the political Nigeria, federal government of Nigeria from independence to date. France has always fought Nigeria. At Biafra, France was behind Biafra. Anywhere, and the same thing Boko Haram and so on. When you check, the sponsorship is basically from France first. Now with America, they are competing for space with America, and that is what is happening.
Hello and welcome to Security Update. In this edition, we examine a deadly attack on a secondary school in Kogi State that disrupted the ongoing WAEC examinations, amongst other stories. Now, here are the details of our top security stories. Gunmen attacked government secondary school in Iluke, Kababunu local government area of Kogi State, disrupting the ongoing West Africa Senior School Certificate examination and killing 3 people, including a vice principal. The attackers reportedly stormed the school on motorcycles while students were sitting for the examinations, sparking panic among candidates, teachers, and residents. Among those killed was Vice Principal Gani Anifowoshi, while 2 other residents also lost their lives during the assault. In another story, gunmen have abducted the vice chairman of Ifedayo local government area, Debo Farombi, after attacking Ora, a border community between Oshun and Kwara states. The attackers reportedly stormed the town around 10 p.m. on Tuesday, firing shots into the air and causing panic among residents. Farombi and 3 others were initially taken away, but security personnel and local volunteers mounted resistance, forcing the gunmen to release the other captives during a fierce exchange of gunfire. The assailants, however, escaped with the local government official. Now, finally, the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, has said its military presence in Nigeria is based entirely on the invitation of the Nigerian government and operates within a framework agreed upon by both countries. Speaking during an X-Space discussion on security cooperation, AFRICOM's Director of Public Affairs, Colonel Rebecca Hales, stressed that the partnership is built on mutual interest and respect for Nigerian sovereignty. She said American forces operate in the country only at Nigeria's request and under the U.S.-Nigerian Joint Working Group framework. Those are the latest security developments making headlines today. Remember, security is a national issue. Stay informed and remain vigilant. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to Tech Updates. I am Gladys Asuko, and here are the top technology stories making headlines today. We'll begin in Nigeria, where the Nigerian Senate has passed the Virtual Asset Service Providers Regulation Bill for second reading. The proposed legislation seeks to establish a regulatory framework for the country's cryptocurrency and digital asset sector. Lawmakers say the bill will strengthen investors' protection, improve transparency, and support the growth of Nigeria's economy. Still in Nigeria, the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, is considering the establishment of a Communication Industry Security Trust Fund to establish increasing cases of telecom infrastructure vandalism across the country. The move follows thousands of reported fiber optic cuts and damage to critical communication facilities. The Commission says the initiative could help protect infrastructure and improve service delivery for millions of telecom subscribers nationwide. And finally, to global stage, Angola's leading information and communication technology forum, Angotic 2026, has opened in the capital city of Luanda. The 3-day event, starting today being June 11 to June 13, is bringing together policymakers, technology experts, and industry leaders to discuss digital inclusion, satellite connectivity, and space innovation. Organizers say the forum is aimed at accelerating transformation and helping strengthen technology collaboration across Africa. And that's a wrap on today's Tech Updates. For more stories on technology, innovation, and economy, stay informed and do stay connected. I'll see you in our next segment. Bye for now.
to your entertainment update for today on S24 Rundown. Today, we bring you a mix of emotions from Nigeria's entertainment industry and celebration of cultural heritage from Akwa Ibom State. The Nigerian film industry is still mourning the loss of popular Nollywood actor Alex Ekobu. Family, friends, colleagues, and fans are recently gathered in Lagos for a moving service of songs in his honor. The event attracted some of Nollywood's biggest names who paid tribute to the actor's life, talent, and contributions to the movie industry. Known for his charming personality and impressive performances in numerous films, Alex Ekubo built a successful career that earned him admiration across Nigeria and beyond. Emotional tributes poured in from fellow actors and actresses, many describing him as kind-hearted, humble, and full of life. As the industry reflects on his legacy, many say his impact on Nollywood will continue to inspire future generations of actors. While we reflect on the painful loss, the music industry is still celebrating one of its brightest stars. Grammy-winning singer Tems has recently turned 31, and fans across the world are marking the occasion with heartfelt messages and tributes. Born Temilade Openiyi, Tems has risen from a young artist in Lagos to one of Africa's most recognized global music icons. Her breakthrough hit, Free Mind, and her contributions to Wizkid's global smash, Essence, helped introduce her unique sound to international audiences. Since then, she has collaborated with some of the world's biggest music stars and earned multiple international awards, including Grammy recognition. Fans have been sharing their favorite Tems songs and celebrating her role in promoting African music on the global stage. Beyond entertainment, we turn our attention to culture and heritage. The Ibibio people of Akwa Ibom State remain one of Nigeria's most culturally rich and vibrant ethnic groups, known for their strong traditions, colorful festivals, and deep sense of community. The Ibibio have preserved their heritage through generations. Traditional dances such as Ekombi continue to showcase the beauty of Ibibio culture, while local delicacies like Afang, Editan, and Atama soups remain important symbols of hospitality and identity. As cultural festivals and heritage events gain attention across the state of the Ibibio people, to continue demonstration and the importance of preserving indigenous traditions in a rapidly changing world. And that's a wrap on entertainment update for today. I am Karimat Hassan. Stay tuned for our next segment.
Three, 2, 1, 0. The countdown is over. The biggest football party on the planet is finally here. The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off today as co-host Mexico takes on South Africa at the iconic Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. It's the biggest World Cup ever featuring 48 nations battling for glory across the United States, Mexico, and Canada over the next 6 weeks. But while excitement are at fever pitch, controversy has also followed the tournament. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has defended the competition against criticism over expensive ticket prices and visa concerns, insisting fans can still find affordable access to football's grandest stage. Now to one of the final dress rehearsal before the main events. Portugal edged Nigeria 2-1 in La Area, but it wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo who stole the spotlight. Chelsea winger Pedro Neto gave Portugal the lead before Super Eagles forward Ako Adams drew Nigeria level before halftime. With the game finally balanced, Francisco Conceição delivered the decisive blow 15 minutes from the time to earn the Portuguese victory. Despite the defeat, Nigeria showed character and resilience against one of the tournament's favorites. Super Eagles fans will be encouraged by the fighting spirit displayed by Eric Chelley's side as they continue rebuilding for the future. Meanwhile, away from the World Cup buzz, Victor Osimhen futures remain one of football's hottest talking points. Despite intense interest from Europe's biggest club, Galatasaray president Dursun Özbek has made the club's position crystal clear. The Turkish champions have no intention of selling the Nigerian superstar. Osimhen enjoyed a sensational campaign, scoring 22 goals and providing 8 assists as Galatasaray secured a 4th straight league title and reached the Champions League knockout stage. And finally, squash enthusiasts have something to look forward to. The 4th edition of the Prime Atlantic Squash Tournament serves off from June 22 to 27 at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Lagos. Organizers promise a big and more competitive event with established stars and emerging talents set to battle for honors in one of Nigeria's premier squash competitions. And that's your sport updates. The World Cup is underway, stars are shining, futures are being decided, and the beautiful game once again takes stage center. Stay tuned because the drama is not only just the beginning. Coming up next is PG News after the break.
Good afternoon, better people. Una welcome to another day to give una the tori where they carry front. Today, make we start from EFCC, chook eye for governors where they carry big money go secure primary election. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, don review say some political aspirants spend money between 20 billion and 30 billion naira just to win tickets during the last primary election especially. He can once say this kind dangerous democracy and now they push officers to thief public money once they enter office. Olukoyede dropped this blockbuster for the first high-level guest speaker series where the University of Ilori organized on Wednesday. According to the EFCC Oga, the heavy money where politicians they throw away during election, they force them to divert government funds as they enter power. So they go feel recover the massive investment where they make. Because the money where they put for politics, that investment will be for them. He said they no go pity corrupt people. Say the commission don't already catch and convict many people for inside vote buying and other electoral jazz. And they no go look face or give special treatment to anybody who break electoral law. To tackle this vote buying matter before the 2027 general election go shele, EFCC they plan to deploy drones and other high-tech gadgets. Incon sharp advise political parties say may they focus on issues where they affect people and may they join hands together to ensure say peace day. Some other people don't ready to protest on June 12th. As things they cost and configuration no clear for the country, tension they high. As human rights lawyer Femi Falana alongside civil society groups, labor activists and youth groups don't declare say June 12th will be Nigeria Democracy Day na a day for nationwide protest. The coalition can talk say this action now because of the way insecurity, hunger, and serious economic suffer till they multiply under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. They can accuse the government say it failed to protect citizens. They say the policies where they roll out just they make poverty they double every day. The man talks say we cannot continue to fold our hands while kidnappers, killers, and hunger they reset the country. Nigerians don't tire for this suffer. Now so the people will come together for this protest take speak the English. The group also commiserates with victims of banditry and demand say make government release all Nigerians with different criminal groups they hold for inside bush. They blast policies like fuel subsidy removal, naira wey don't fall, and the new high electricity tariff, saying all these don't bend the back of average Nigerians. They call on workers, students, and traders to come out for the protest. May they for join their mouth together, make government for do better thing for Nigeria. On top insecurity matter, schools don't shut down. Say bandits won't strike again. Heavily armed suspected bandits enter one school for Iluke community, Kogi, kill 3 people, including the vice principal and one small 6-year-old pikin. Security agent try well as they pursue them and kill one of the bandits. Authority locked 3 schools down sharp to kidnap students for Edo North. But they allow WAEC students to write their exam under heavy security protection. And for inside Niger State, fake news and tension spread say bandits they target schools, and this one make parents rush go pull their children out of school. Even though police later talk saying a lie, make everyone calm down. Nobody still won't lose guard. Pastor Konde warn Nigerian people say may they no give up. Life they hard. One Christian cleric, Apostle John Okoriko, not express heavy worry over the way suicide matter just they rise for the country. He can beg Nigerians may they no use their hand and their life because of economic hardship. Apostle dropped this advice during one interactive church service for Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. He told the congregation say may they get hope and patience because this condition is no day permanent and better days go come. E tok say na heavy frustration and life challenges na im dey push people to think of suicide. But if they get strong faith in God, they go get power to pass through the storm without hurting themselves. This concern dey come out as recent data don show say like 15,000 to 16,000 Nigerians dey die by suicide every single year. That one too much o. And for climate matter, scientists don dey warn say heavy heat dey come and e go bad. Scientists don raise red flag say global warming dey move with speed wey ordinary eye no go fit see. And the world dey very close to breaking the 1.5 degrees Celsius danger line. For inside one new report wey over 70 scientists sign, dem reveal say human activities don push global temperature up to 1.39 degrees above pre-industrial levels in 2025. They warn say by the year 2030, the world fit cross that 1.5 degree limit where they run from. The report con dey highlight say water levels dey rise higher and faster than before. E say marine heat waves wey be ocean water wey dey hot like fire don triple since 1991. The scientists con dey complain say geopolitical fight and funding cuts dey affect climate monitoring systems, like satellite programs and ocean tools where they use track how the earth dey hot. They insist say if government no put money there, the world no go understand how to fight this climate wahala, and e go be big matter for all of us head. And for international matter, inside Obodo Oyibo, we see say police for Indonesia don arrest 13 women, including the owner and caregivers of one daycare center, on top heavy child abuse and maltreatment where they find out. The police talk say they shock when they enter the facility where over 100 children register inside. Come find out say many of the toddlers with their hands and legs they tied with rope. Some of the caregivers allegedly they slap and pinch the small children just to make them keep quiet. This matter don't cause heavy vex across Indonesia as people